Oh, most Holy Spirit that moved upon the water, the I am that I am, we thank you for all that you've done. We thank you for your mercy and your favor. We thank you for your statutes, your ordinances, your commandments. We thank you that you have caused us to rise up above our enemies, yes, in many situations. Yet we ask you to deal with our youth, deal with us. Yes, that we might walk according to these commandments, statutes, and ordinances, according to your word, regardless of what the heathen might say or think. Some of us have become heathen. We have taken on his way, thinking that it is luxury, that it is wealth. We think that these things are so, but you tell us the biggest thing is that we understand and know you. We don't know the depth of your riches. We don't know the depth of your favor and what those things that you can bestow on us. But we know that even Solomon in his glory have displayed much of it. And we ask you to deal with us according to your loving kindness and according to your chastisement, and as we need dealing with, that we might draw nearer unto you and give our hearts and our minds even solely unto you above all that is around us, that comes from us. Yes. And we thank you for all things. Yes. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I'm T. Clay, Tyrone Clay 213 on TikTok. We're on Facebook and we're on YouTube. That's Mr. Clay on YouTube. We're in Deuteronomy Chapter 14, the 14th chapter of Deuteronomy. And it reads in verse 1. Ye are the children of the I am your God. Ye shall not cut yourselves, nor make any baldness between your eyes for the dead. Even in Leviticus 19 and verse 27, and if you read on a little bit more, he talks about printing. We're talking about tattoos. He said, you will not do that. No, not Israel. You will not do that. These things are of the heathen. They do this for witchcraft and all those other things. There's no markings God tells us to put in the flesh. No. He says, for thou art a holy people. You are clean unto the I am your God. The I am have chosen you to be a peculiar, special people unto himself, not to look like everybody else. You want to wear your hoochie skirts. You want to wear your chest out. You want to wear all these things that come from the heathen and those who walk contrary to the Most High. But we ask you, love the Lord, even the Most High, with all your heart. He said to a peculiar people in verse 2, unto himself above all the nations that are upon the earth. He said, now thou shalt not eat any abominable things. These are the beasts which ye shall eat, the ox, the sheep, and the goat. The hart, that's the deer, the roebuck, the elk, and the fallow deer, and the wild goat, and the pyarg, and the wild ox, and the chamois. That's a little boy. You have the chamois rag? Yeah, that's that little bird. And every beast that parteth the hoof and cleaveth to the cleft into two claws and cheweth the cud among the beasts, that ye shall eat. Now you're going to have to measure what is clean and unclean by these standards. Unto you, Israel, Bantu, nevertheless these shall not eat them that chew the cud, or of them that divide the cloven hoof, as the camel, the hare, and the coney. For they chew the cud, but divide not the hoof, therefore they are unclean unto you. And the swine, because it divideth the hoof, yet cheweth not the cud. Now he's giving you a formula here on what pleases him, according to as your ancestors has agreed. He said, it is unclean to you. You shall not eat of their flesh, nor touch their dead carcass. In other words, the meat at the store. You understand? Picking up dead pigs out of the freezer box, even though they sliced up. He said, no, don't touch that. Don't even deal with it. Ye shall eat of all that are in the waters, that all that have fins. You know, there's the little fins on the back, and they have fins right here, and scales, the scales that you pull off. You can eat, you shall eat. And whatsoever have not spins and scales, ye may not eat. It is unclean unto you. He's not talking about the whole world. He's talking about the Bantu. He's talking about Israel. That's what he's talking about. Of all birds ye shall eat. You can eat of all birds. But these are they of which ye shall not eat. The eagle and the ossifrage and the osprey. He's talking about the ostrich. And the gilead and the kite and the vulture after his kind. And every raven after his kind. And the owl and the nighthawk and the cuckow and the hawk and after his kind, the little owl and the great owl and the swan and the pelican and the gaia eagle and the cormorant and the stork and the heron after her kind, and the lapwing and the bat. And every creeping thing that flieth is unclean unto you. Ye shall not be eaten. But of all clean fowls you may eat. Ye shall not eat of anything that dieth of itself. In other words, it was sick and it died, or it got ran over, roadkill. Thou shalt not give it to the stranger. In other words, why are you going to give it to him that is in your gates, that he may eat, or thou mayest sell it unto the alien? For thou art an holy people unto the I am thy God. Thou shalt not seethe a kid in his mother's milk. That was a practice at one time. It's a pagan practice. Thou shalt truly tithe all the increase of thy seed that the field bringeth forth year by year. In other words, you're just going to take a guesstimate and then sit up there. You see the big field and you say you divide it in parts, and then 1/10, 10 parts of that you're going to give to the I am. Yes, for the Levites. That's what he's saying. And if the way be too long for thee, that thou art not able to carry it, or if a place be too far from thee, which the I am thy God choose to set his name there, then the I am thy God have blessed thee. Then thou shalt turn it into money, and bind up the money into thy hands, and shall go to the place which the I am thy God shall choose. And thou shalt bestow that money on whatsoever thy soul lusteth after, for oxen and for sheep, or for swine, or for wine, or for strong drink, for whatsoever thy soul desireth, and thou shalt eat there before the I am thy God. He didn't say give it to the preacher. No, he didn't say give your tithes and offering to the Levite or nothing like that. Not in that manner. There's a tithe that belongs to the Levite, but not that. There's nothing belong to that preacher. He's not a Levite. He's not even, probably not even an Israelite, not even a Bantu. You don't know. He's not even authorized by the Most High to even collect those things. Thou shalt bestow that money for whatsoever thy soul lusteth after the oxen, sheep, for wine. Let us go on 27. And the Levite that is within thy gates, thou shalt not forsake him, for he hath no part nor inheritance with thee. So why is the preacher getting these Cadillacs and stuff? He's not even a Christian. This guy's he's not even Bantu. He's gone the way of the heathen. They do these things. Now, at the end of 3 years, thou shalt bring forth all the tithe and thy increase the same year, and thou shalt lay it up within thy gates. This is how you do it. And the Levite, because he hath no part nor inheritance with thee, and the stranger, and the fatherless, and the widow, which are within thy gates, shall come, and shall eat and be satisfied, that the I am thy God may bless thee in all the work of thy hand which thou doest. You want to be blessed? In this day and time, you give to the poor. He that gives it to the poor lend it to God. And God's going to reward you for that. He ain't talking about to no preacher. If this is a man or a child and you don't collect all that money and they need a little cash to help them start a business, a farm, a warehouse, or something like that, that money should be gathered up, given to that child or that young man or that young woman that's going to do this thing, and then have them pay it back in increments without usury. Yes, these things are acceptable before the Most High. But when you take it and spend it on your own lavish desires other than food, that God said, then what's going to happen? You curse your own self. Yes, you do. Yeah, you're going to live right for a while because he's going to let you get so caught up in your mess till your soul is going to long at the time of your death that you wish you'd have done the right thing, like the rich man and Lazarus. And with that, we're going to say peace.